Triangles. This is a digital lesson, and it covers classifying triangles as well as finding the missing angle measurement. So it starts with explaining to students there are two different ways that we can classify a triangle: by the measurement of its angles or the length of its sides. So if you're classifying a triangle by the measurement of its angles, you can have an acute triangle with all three angles less than 90 degrees, a right triangle with one angle of 90 degrees, and an obtuse triangle with one angle greater than 90 degrees. So you just go through these with the students. This could be a review. We also classify triangles by the length of their sides. So an isosceles triangle would have two sides equal. An equilateral triangle would have three equal sides, and a scalene triangle would have no equal sides. So for the next slide, students are going to get a little practice here. They're going to use the line tool, and they're going to connect the type of triangle, classified by both the length of its sides and its angles, and they're going to connect it with a visual that matches. So they come up here to the line tool, click on line, they get a little plus sign. So wherever they want that line to start, they're just going to click on the plus sign, and they get a line here. Now, students can play around with this. They can change the color of the line, and they can change the width of the line. So you want to have them click on one of these little blue circles, and then they can move it to connect to the right triangle. So equilateral, acute, they would connect these two. Isosceles, right triangle. Would have to be this one, and so on. So they're going to use these lines to connect correctly. Then we're going to move on to finding the missing angle. So we know that the three angles of a triangle will always have a sum of 180 degrees. So we're going to use algebra to find the missing angle. So they're given an example here. Next slide has another example of how we use algebra to find the missing angle. So this is scaffolded so that students have part of it done for them, and they gradually work into doing the problem on their own. So here we can see that the first line started for them, 40 plus 70 plus x equals 180. And students have to type in here the missing numbers. So here they're going to add 40 and 70. That would give them 110. And now they're going to subtract. So they want to subtract 110 from both sides. And that will give them an answer of 70 degrees. So the missing angle, 70 degrees. So it starts out with the first line being done for them. The next slide, now they're going to do most of this on their own. So they've got x plus 40, and they know this one has to be 90 degrees. So they're going to type those values in. They're going to add 40 plus 90 to get a total. And then they're going to subtract and solve for x. Same thing on the next triangle. Now they're shown what to do if they have variables for two of the angles. So here, if they add all three together, they get x plus 2 plus 90. And then they're shown how to solve this. So students are just going to do the subtraction here and then find the answer. On the next slide, once they know what x equals, well, they know that one angle is 90 degrees. They know from the previous slide what x is, and if they know what x is, then they should be able to figure out what x plus 2 would equal, and they will have their three angles. So they're going to do the calculations on the next one, and then identify the three angles. Then on the final slide, they're just given three angles. One is missing, and they're going to use their own scratch paper to solve for x. And that is a digital lesson on triangles.